So there's no theme. I haven't made a video for a long time, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. St. Patrick's Day is my favorite Irish writer, who I've pretty much devoted this year to studying, and his name is James Joyce. So James Joyce was this crazy one-eyed Irish guy. He had an eye patch, he was going blind, and he wrote these really interesting, groundbreaking pieces of literature, most famously probably for Ulysses. Now I haven't read this book, but I will this year. It's famously incomprehensible because of its style. A lot of it's in kind of a technique that he mastered, or at least popularized, which is the stream of consciousness technique, where not everything is very clear. It's all goes on in the characters' heads, and so you get a lot of seemingly unimportant, trivial half-thoughts and observations rather than just, I'm sad and I'm going to do this. It's everything that's going on in their mind. And this year, however, I have read 2 of his books. Dubliners, which is, I believe, his first publication, and it's a collection of short stories about people in Dublin. And it should be noted that these stories are pretty famous, especially his story called The Dead, and kind of what is most salient in this book is his technique of epiphany. Now, this isn't really in stream of consciousness. It's pretty linear and easily understood. You know, there's a beginning, middle, and end. But the big thing in this book is the epiphany, where the characters will come to some grand conclusion. They'll have some realization about their life and their place in the universe. So this is a really good book to check out if you want to start reading Joyce. Now, the second book I'm going to talk about is A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. Now, this is kind of where Joyce started to do more of the stream of consciousness kind of thing, and where things are not as clear. Things are more abstract and blurry. However, I find a lot of interesting, beautiful things in this. Let me just read you the first sentences, because they're pretty funny and weird. Once upon a time, and a very good time it was, there was a moo cow coming down along the road, and this moo cow was coming down along the road and met a nice little boy named Baby Tuckoo. So, right from the beginning, you start with a story that's told by someone else, in that kind of colloquial Irish baby talk, basically. And this character, Stefan Delitis, or I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, Stefan Daedalus. But basically, Daedalus was in Greek mythology the father of Icarus, who you might know was the one who created the fake wings because he wanted to fly on the wings made out of wax, and he was warned that he shouldn't do that or he shouldn't fly too close to the sun or his wings would melt. And, well, that's what he did, and he went crashing into the sea. But Daedalus was a master artist, and that's kind of who Stefan in this book aspires to, as this artist. This book is about his artistic, not only Stefan's, but inevitably it's Joyce's kind of way to do an autobiography about himself, about his journey through Catholic school, and he was considering becoming a priest. There's like a loss of faith. He's breaking away from the church. There's all of these things that are going on. Now, as with the Dubliners, also I had a hard time understanding some of the historical and political subtext of what's going on in the book, but as an aspiring writer and artist, I really related to a lot of this book, because there's a point in the book where he finally realizes, I'm an artist, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna leave you, or I'll share one more quote with you that kind of want this on my gravestone someday. Welcome, O life. I go to encounter for the millionth time the reality of experience, and to forge in the smithy of my soul the uncreated conscience of my race. I love that. It's so carpe diem. It's so, this is my life. Fuck yeah. But anyway, Ulysses, and if I can get through this, I'll read his even more incomprehensible work, Finnegan's Wake. Now that is even more abstract and surreal and frustrating as Ulysses apparently is, but I mean, if Stephen Fry, that brilliant, beautiful gay man from Britain, recommends this book, there must be something really good in it. And I've spent a lot of time and thought in preparation for this book. I also should probably go over The Odyssey by Homer, which this book is kind of a adaptation of, in a way. So I have wasted too much of your time being an English major nerd, but maybe you'll be walking around a used bookstore and you'll see Dubliners or Portrait of the Artist as Young Man, and you'll be like, hey, Justin was talking about that book. He knows what he's talking about usually. So I hope you have a beautiful week, and I love you. Collabofjustice. Peace out, homies.